Welcome to Agronomy Moment. I'm your host, Wendell Cohen. We bring in people who agree with me, disagree with me, and above all, are not afraid to say it like it is.
All right, welcome back everybody. We're going to do a quick update here on soybeans. Selena joins me here to talk about, late July timeframe. We're just past R3 for the most part on early beans.
Yep.
And so what are some thoughts as we go forward to the next few weeks to be watching for disease-wise and everything we got going?
Yep. So looking like setting up for a pretty good soybean crop here. Yep. Like you said, beans are earlier planted or regular planted beans that have surpassed R3 or nearing R3 on maybe some of those
early
or later
yes,
planted.
Yep.
And so once we start to progress into the later soybean stages, once we're past R3, the things that we're thinking about as far as from a disease standpoint, just to keep an eye out for, especially with some of these wetter conditions that we have had, would be sudden death syndrome, brown stem rot. Those are kind of the two that come to mind. And then from a insect standpoint, Dectes, stink bugs are just a couple that can really hurt our yields, especially from the stink bug standpoint. And I think a lot of folks went ahead and applied a fungicide and threw an insecticide with it, which would have provided some really good knockdown on those stink bugs. And of course, our normal culprits, Japanese beetles, things like that cause that defoliation.
And a little bit on SDS and brown stem rot, similar diseases. Is there a way to tell the difference, or what are we looking for when we can see that? What symptoms do we see?
So typically the foliar symptoms with those two diseases look very similar. I like to pull a plant up and split the stem, and the brown stem rot, whenever you split that stem in half, it will look brown in the pith of that stem. Maybe a darkish reddish brown color. With sudden death, most generally speaking, we have to get closer down to that soil line, closer into that taproot and splitting that, and we will see more of like a grayish appearance there. That's kind of how we can tell those two apart.
Yep. And sometimes on the SDS too, if the fusarium has been there long enough, you'll see a blue mold, a bluish tinge on the roots.
And another one down in this part of the world that's usually prevalent is charcoal rot.
Yep.
We have a lot different conditions, thankfully, than we did last year. But last year was a big year for charcoal rot with the conditions that we had. That would be another one to go ahead and
if we get hot and dry, especially.
Make sure we keep an eye out for. Yep.
Okay, sounds good. And yes, watch out for those insects. Ooh, I got a piece of corn still hanging from my pants from walking cornfields. But thanks a lot for watching. As we go forward, give us a shout anytime if you have any questions, and watch those bugs in the field, insects. Yep. That's really what I want to underline that as well, because if they do have an infestation comes back in like stink bugs, they really kill yield, right?
Yes.
Because they sting the pods.
Yeah, they'll directly pierce that pod and essentially suck out the juices, and that is direct yield loss for us.
Yep. So, all right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you